And so I have the agenda on my other computer, so we can call our meeting to order. Let's call our meeting to order, and we can start with our pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. And we can also just take a few moments to reflect and have a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. And as we reflected, I remembered the fireman that lost his life locally, and I believe the flags are still hanging half-staff, and just the tragedies that are going on around our country, and just reflecting and just hoping that we all just stay safe. Okay, so as we move on in our agenda, there is space for our public comment. If there is anyone from the public, our citizens, or anyone that would like to speak, if you would unmute and state your name and the purpose. If you are a resident, you can state your address. And if you are outside of our community, you can state your business or your intent.
Hi, Maria Toledo. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put my video.
Hi, Miss Maria.
Hi, how are you? Can you see me? I cannot see myself. Okay, I see. Hi, how are you? Good evening, Ms. Tracy, and good evening to the members of the council. I'm Maria Toledo. I currently live in 5010 Kenilworth Avenue in Elizabeth's Landing. And I wanted to share an idea with you guys that I had, and I mentioned it to Hillary and to Rod and also to the mayor, but I wanted to bring it out to the attention of the rest of the members of the council. Sorry, I'm gonna look down because I have my little notes. Or else I'm gonna lose track of what I'm saying. So I know that the town has different programs to supply those families in need with food items. You know, I've seen the food bank boxes that you guys courteously give to those families in need. But at the same time, I believe that, you know, those boxes, although they have essentials and they come with a good amount of food, there might be a greater need around the community in those families, a greater need. So this idea came into my mind after I've seen it a lot of times after dropping my kids in school. Hyattsville, near Hyattsville Elementary, they have something called Blessing Box. I did a little bit of research into what it was, and I also stopped and kind of looked into it. And basically what a Blessing Box is a little box similar in size and to structure as the box that you currently have for the art in the park. Very similar. I even asked Hillary if they already took my idea, and I was like, is that it? Because it's very similar in size and in structure of it. Basically what it is that you include non-perishable items and basic need items, and you include a sheet of instructions within the box. As I'm bilingual, I can make it in English and Spanish. And then within the instructions, you include that people can take items for 1 or 2 meals or as they need, and bring what they can. It's take what you need, bring what you can. And then you include within the instructions an email in case there is items that people might bring that are not non-perishable, and maybe there's gonna be like animals sneaking into it. And I can take up onto that task because it is my idea. I can definitely do that. Or if there's an email, if not an email address, a phone number. And also, to bring items, remove those items that are expired and so on. So I know that there's plenty of people that can help me within the community. Actually, I got to meet a couple of people in the last event with the Hispanic community that can help me build that little structure. Or as there's already a box for the art in the park, maybe that can be a startup. Or if not, my family is willing to also help with the supplies to build the box, and get others, as I said, in the community that can help us build a box. And if you guys agree, it can be something that we can inaugurate as soon as we can in the community. And to be honest, in Hyattsville Elementary, even when the box is full of items, I've checked it and I've seen it when it's full of items, maybe within a day and a half, the box is completely empty. And I know that Hyattsville is a greater community, it's a big spot, it's right by a school, and that's why there's more active people walking in that area. So my idea also will be to put it in that area by the little bridge in Edmonston Road. Is Edmonston Road, right? I'm sorry. I only know where to turn because I live right there. And I think that a lot of people crosses that bridge, and that can be very visible for those that are in need. And we don't have to call it a blessing box, because not everybody is religious. We can also call it a little pantry, which is another name that I found while I was doing a little research about it. So I wanted to put my idea out there for you guys, for the members of the council or other members in the town. And if you guys are willing to help me out, that would be great. And you can contact me to see what the next steps will be. And that's it for my intervention.
Very good. Yay. Council, any feedback?
Sounds like a great idea to me, and I love the name Blessing Box because it is a blessing. Yeah. So I think you're on point, 100%.
Yeah. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful idea. And I think right there on the bike trail is an awesome spot, right near our gazebo, probably. I don't know if it'll be too crowded, but I think right near that spot there, not right by the art box, but right near that gazebo, we could find a spot, even if it's on the other side of the trail. I don't know what rights we have on the other side, but near that gazebo, that's our gazebo, we could probably do that. I think it's awesome, 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 awesome. And
right at the end of the bridge.
Say again, Mr. Johnson?
So right there at the end of the bridge, just before the gazebo, that area right in there.
Very
right where we
visible.
put the Christmas tree.
Visible. If we can.
Right in that area.
Yeah. I don't know what
Because
permission.
you always have people at the gazebo.
Right. Yep. Great idea, Miss Maria. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Great idea. Thank you. All right. We'll be in touch. All righty. Anyone else? All right. Is Reverend Gail on the line? Reverend Gail? Nope. So End Time Harvest wants to present the Rain Barrel program in Edmonston. And yes, Edmonston is familiar with the Rain Barrel program, but it would be beneficiary for our residents to participate in listening to her students present this program to them. Of course, we know we were talking about flooding and initiatives with the county. And also, it'll assist Reverend Gail in her certification as well. We also, if we say yay, and I hope we do, also we want to have someone from and I think we talked about this, someone from an insurance company to also come and talk to our residents about maybe flood insurance or renter's insurance at the same time. I think her program will take at least 30 minutes. Is that correct, Mr. Barnes? 30 minutes. And maybe we can also have a presenter from the insurance company that might take about 15 minutes or 20, maybe 15 minutes and then Q&A. So is the council on board for that? And if so, did she give you a timeline, Mr. Barnes, when this has to be done? Because I know she needs it for her certification.
Yeah, it's part of her grant requirements with the Chesapeake Bay Trust. She didn't say specifically that, but she said she was on a short timeline. So I put out there, someone, either you had talked to her or she came up with the idea of doing it at the next work session, which is November 2nd. And that date worked for her, but I'm not sure that that's a good program to do during a work session. I think it needs its own standalone time for it. So, but that date did work. So I'm guessing that probably by the end of November is the time that she needs to report to the trust on their
I don't
activity.
want to do it during the time of during our meetings, because if someone's going to take 30 minutes and then an additional 15 minutes, we don't want to prolong our time. So it would have to be something separate, and especially if we're going to invite more of our residents. So it'll probably be more Q&A. So no, unless we have nothing on our agenda, and that's doubtful. So unless we want to make it at the end of the month or a few days after our, or a day after our work session. What say you, council? Do you want us to come up with a date and get back to you?
I say,
I definitely would
Whatever.
prefer a standalone date than trying to fit that into either a work session or a regular town meeting.
Okay.
So
And-
maybe I could propose a couple dates back to her, maybe November 3rd, November 9th. That's a Wednesday, and then a Tuesday before our next council meeting. Or even November 4th,
I
a
guess the only
Thursday.
other thing I would worry about is that and we've been talking so much about how to make sure that we're promoting things enough that people are hearing about it more than once and it's really sinking in, and then people will attend. And the only thing I would worry is that it's already like the 13th of October. And if it's the 4th, that's only like 2 weeks from now. Or maybe it's 3 weeks. I don't know. Maybe it's not as soon as I thought. But I guess we just want to be sure that we're giving ourselves enough time to promote it so that people will show up and log in and participate.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks.
Okay,
The 3rd would be the 3 weeks.
okay.
That would be good.
I don't know
And
why.
then also, we'll be inviting
You're
the
trying to
Port
rush
Towns
things.
as well.
Sorry.
We'll be inviting the Port Towns as well.
Oh, okay. And then I think that in the past, it's been possible to get rebates so that if you buy a rain barrel, then you can get like some of the money and almost all of the cost back. And it would be nice if, will she provide those kind of forms that people can maybe download from the site or that are attached to the invitation? Things like
Yes, that's part of the whole presentation, is
Okay.
how you go about it. What's the information that's available, how is it installed, that kind of thing. The kids, her students are the ones that do the presentation, and
Mhm.
so Rick will have to help with the Zoom as they have PowerPoints to share and the, like the mayor said, the Q&A at the end for getting people back on. So yeah. We had, I think the last time we did it in town, we had like 7 homes participate in the program, so.
I'm good for the 3rd if that works for everybody else. Because that's a Tuesday, correct?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay, I'm good. That is good.
Okay, well, we'll get back to you. Thank you. Thank you, Council. All right, so the next item is the consideration of our, the approval of our minutes. First one is the virtual work session meeting minutes for August the 31st. And the next request is the virtual regular council meeting minutes from September the 8th. Is there a motion to approve the work session meeting minutes as well as the regular council meeting minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you so much. Motion made by
I'll
Ms.
second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. Motion made and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you so much. The next item is consideration of setting a date. Well, we did that for End Time Harvest. The next item is the receipt of a petition for restricted parking in the 4800 block of 51st Avenue. 80% of the residents on the block must be in favor. Did we get that additional?
We did. So we have the 80%
Super.
signatures. I think there's only 2 homes on
So-
out of the 11 that did not sign, but that they may not have asked them. Because I told Miss Sally she only needed 1 more signature.
Okay.
So that's
Got
what
it.
she did. Yeah. So it's good to go for
The
presentation
public hearing
on the public hearing, yes.
on the 10th at 7 p.m. All right, and that's to receive the public input on the petition. All right, so fantastic. And the next item, we don't have to do anything on that.
I would go ahead and make a motion, Mayor, to set the public hearing for that day.
Okay. Ms. Hillary, would you like to make a motion to set that public hearing for November the 10th, 2021 at 7 p.m.?
I would make the motion as long as it's okay that I'm not seemingly like self-interested. Does it matter that I live on that block?
No, I think when we were in the work session, I think that's what you were going to do anyway.
Okay, yes, I will make a motion for a public hearing for the restrictive parking on 51st Avenue.
Thank
on
you so
November
much. Sarah,
I'll
second.
second it.
Motion made, seconded by Ms. McCauley. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All right. I think I heard Mr. Johnson. Thank you.
I said aye.
Yep, I heard you. Thank you. Motion passes.
Mm.
The next item is the consideration of the proclamation for declaring November 1st as Extra Mile Day. Is there a motion? Ms. Turbeville, is there a motion?
Yeah, I move that November 1st, the Extra Mile Day.
Thank you so much.
Proclamation.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
I'll second.
Oh,
Motion made by Ms. Turbeville, second by Ms. Chester. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passes for Extra Mile Day. And we're just going to come up with some wonderful ideas. And remember, council, if you do have some wonderful ideas, please make sure you let us know, okay? Next item is the consideration of resolution 2021-R-01 of support to the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development for the town's 2022 Edmonston Beautiful Grant application. Mr. Barnes?
Your Honor, this is the, again, this is our fourth time applying for the Edmonston Beautiful Grant that helps low to moderate income and senior citizens in our community make repairs to their homes. We currently in round 2021 have 8 homes that we're working with. So this program has a waiting list typically and has really proven to be very effective to help our residents. So each year when the applications are submitted, then the Department of Housing and Community Development opens up for comments and support from the local jurisdiction. And this would be our way of reporting back to them that you do support the program and that you hope that they're favorable in awarding us the grant again.
Any questions for Mr. Barnes or kudos or anything?
Sounds
Yes,
great.
All right. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
A second?
Second,
Motion made by Ms. McCully and seconded by Ms. Turbeville. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Right. Motion passed. Thank you so very much, Mr. Barnes, Ms. Avery. All right, the next item is our police report by Chief Gibson.
Do we skip one? Consideration of adding a part-time code?
That was removed.
Oh, it's still on my list.
You
Thank you so
didn't
much, Ms.
you didn't
McCully.
get the revised one.
I didn't get the revised.
Ready for me, Mayor? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go Chief.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to share information relative to Part 1 crimes reported for the month of September 2021. Just for your information, the report, has a lot of different categories on it, but there was reported to the Edmondson Police Department 4 crimes, 2 stolen autos and 2 thefts. And the 2 vehicles that were stolen from auto repair shops from the lot. One of them, the keys are left in it. The other, I guess they, I don't know, pulled it around the corner and took it with a crane or something. But this isn't the first time something happened like this in April of 2021. So I just wanted to report that there were 4 crimes reported. In one of the cases, a young lady had her purse taken out of her car she had parked on Buchanan Street. And she came back a short time later, probably an hour, and someone had gone in, taken the purse. Inside the purse were a few personal items, including a wallet, as well as a laptop that she had in a large purse. But basically, those were the only crimes that were reported for the month of September. With respect to code compliance during the month, we had a couple of events where we had to intervene. I think one was a couple of folks were building a fence. They didn't have permits from the town or the county, so they had to go secure those things. Other than that, there were several inspections that were done when our code compliance officer was not in class during the month, and Sergeant Young was following up on those code compliance matters that Eric could not get to. Just for the record, we are noticing a surplus of cars that are being parked on or around 51st Place that come from those auto repair shops on Buchanan Street. We've impounded a number of them. And, I have a little friend who lives on 51st that calls to tell me that a car's been sitting there for a couple of days and they don't recognize the car as being a resident. So we would come by and run the tag, run the VIN number, and find out that the owner of record lives, 50 miles away from the town of Edmiston. And so after the car has been sitting for over 48 hours, then we cite the car, put a ticket on it, and impound it. So we've been doing pretty good with that. And what I would ask my elected officials is, if you have the neighbors moving around, just ask them to be on the lookout, because Crittenden, 52nd Avenue, 51st Place, they're moving these cars around. We never see them dropping the cars off, but sometime after 2 or 3 days, you'll notice the car sitting, and then we start doing our work. So just for the record, that's been has been a little problem over the last 2 months at least. And I know, Mr. McCauley, you've heard reports as well as Ms. Chester about folks parking those cars along 52nd Avenue and come back and picking them up 8 hours late or 2 or 3 days later and those kinds of things. So we're checking those blocks every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, to see if, there's restricted parking on Crittenden. However, there isn't restricted parking on 51st Place. So I'm just saying that to say, if you have that information, it doesn't matter if it's accurate. If you think the car's been sitting there for a period of time, let us know. We're going to come out and we'll investigate, find out what the facts are, and take the appropriate action. So that is all that I have in the way of code compliance. All right. That's my
Thank you.
report.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for our chief? Concerns, comments?
We appreciate the disappearing cars from our streets.
There've been quite a few of them, I
Yes.
must say. If I may, Mayor, one more thing I wanted to bring up. I was talking to Rod today, I guess it was around, 4 o'clock or so, Rod? We were talking about the go-kart track. Apparently, some individuals are pulling into the parking lot of the go-kart establishment, and they're waiting until there's nobody around, and then they're going into the cars and stealing various items. And we had one of these thefts today, and we sent the officers there around 3:15 or so. And the owner reported that these guys went in the cars and they're stealing, items out of the car. So, we have to provide a little plan to help the business owner out. I understand that the D&D owner, Auto Body, also owns the lot where we do the go-kart racing. So I'm just sharing that for the information. Today, there was a theft of property on the grounds of the race car establishment. We need to be mindful. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tuberville?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I appreciate the chief's attention to all of these parking issues. I mean, I think it's something that really proves a nuisance to the residents in the community, and to see our chief out there, sort of getting on top of this is very much appreciated, and it's a visible thing that I think is very positive for everybody. He was also quite helpful with something that would happened on my street that had to do with some, markings on the curb, and it also involved a new officer, and so he used it as like a training moment, and so all of it I think was just reflected well on the chief and the department and Edvinston.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Tuberville. Mr. Barnes?
I'm sorry. Just
Oh, I had one
Councilman-
quick,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Lister.
I noticed that it seems like that the lot that is where the business, sort of the leaser who was leasing that big lot there on Buchanan is really getting cleaned out. Like it's really almost empty now. So I really appreciate all the effort in getting rid of that eyesore and just all the problems with the business that was operating there. They were really congesting and creating a lot of road hazards. So that's definitely a huge improvement.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And over the last maybe 4 or 5 months, we issued a number of stop work orders for that particular address and directed the owner of record to get everything off of the lot. And at one point we locked the gate because he continued to try to do business after hours. So with the cooperation of the actual owner of the property, this one guy was, renting space. We were able to get him out of there. We gave him 30 days to vacate. And if he didn't, we would do it for him. So that worked out pretty well. They put up new fencing, and I think they're probably looking for new tenants, but we wanted to send a clear message to all of those folks that if you violate the town ordinances, there will be consequences. So we've done pretty good with that. Rod, if you will, was there any update on the repainting of curbs that designated specific footage that goes hand in hand with our code of ordinance regarding parking in regard to a stop sign or intersection?
Yeah, the paint machine that was to be in last week is now scheduled to come in the end of the month. So what I've determined is that that's going to be too long, and then the weather's going to be so we can't paint. So I'm reaching out to a contractor this week to get a price from him to go out and do particularly the intersections that where we need that actual identification made. So I should have that by Friday, and then next week, then we could certainly move out on it.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
I had a follow-up. Mayor?
Yes.
I said I had a follow-up, but you were
Oh,
on
yeah. Uh-huh.
First of all, this is so great that that y'all are working together to fix this. The issue that was on Emerson actually wasn't related necessarily to the painting of the curb. It was anyway. But that's great to hear, Rod. Thank you. I had something that I raised maybe a couple of years ago about that lot on Buchanan with, I think right now it's got like that black plastic over the fencing, or it previously did. And, not knowing ultimately what is going to be happening with that lot, presumably it could legally end up with a whole bunch of cars on it again, right? Like, because that's what it is. I mean, there would be not, if all the proper permitting went through, that would still be acceptable. So my thought was that, if you drive through the district in particular, and there's like an area that's under construction like that, often that covering that goes over the fence it's got art on it in some way, right? Like it can, and I wonder if we might want to consider doing something like that on the corner, because it could really, I think it could make it look, because it's a substantial lot. And so I think it could make it look a lot nicer. And it could be something that I would imagine whoever is like the owner and then whoever was renting it would probably appreciate. And then if we ended up, if the lot did transition to something else, which would be great, we could still use that and like repurpose it for other kinds of spaces like that in town where there's things that are an eyesore, but it just creates a little bit more of a less of an eyesore.
I do know, Councilmember Turberville, that Eric was working with the owners to see about adding the slats. I don't know if you've noticed, they put in a brand new chain link fence now, so that plastic is all gone. But he was talking to them about perhaps putting in the slats that slide in the fence that then block the fence and the view. But we also are talking to Operation Arts about doing exactly what you just described, panels, mural panels that would tell a story about Edmonston in various ways and looking for locations. So that's certainly something we could research if that corner, is it, and the owner was agreeable, that might be something that could solve that even further.
Thanks, Rod. Thank you.
All the more reason that we need a part-time code enforcement officer. Well, thank you, Ms. Turberville. All right, so Mr. Barnes?
Just a few items, Your Honor. One, just a good news thing, Mayor Gant, I was part of it, helped celebrate the 91st birthday of one of our residents on Saturday. Mr. Lawrence lives on 47th Avenue. So I delivered with the mayor's granddaughter, we delivered a cake and a balloon. And I think he was very genuinely touched and pleased. So happy to be able to do that. He participated in our oral history project and told some great stories of what Edmonston was like as he's grown up here in our community. We had an amazing Art in the Park ribbon cutting on Saturday. We now have an art gallery in town. It is in Veterans Park. If you haven't walked by and looked at it, please do. The children that were in attendance made the art. They did flags of their countries. They did just art pictures, and they are on display in the gallery. It's an amazing project that Operation Arts brought to our community. We're only 2 in the area. The other one is in Brentwood. So the exhibits will change out. We'll be using themes for it. Black history is one of them that we'll focus on. The environment. Bethany will be working on that. So exciting for that. Dumpster Day is this Saturday, 1 to 4 at Town Hall. So the signs are going up in the morning. Notices have gone out, so I'm fairly certain we'll be loading down in a big way. We have three 30-yard roll-offs that will be delivered on Friday and set up for that. Turkey basket sign up is currently going on. If you know somebody in need for the holidays and want them to get a basket, we are partnering with the Victory Grace Church, our wonderful food distribution folks from Saturdays with that program. And we will have turkey baskets going out to those folks along with helping some families at Rogers Heights Elementary. We do have, if you are nothing to do next Wednesday, our green team is now back active, and we have a new volunteer coordinator, Maggie Pooley. So we thank Maggie for stepping up to do that. The mayor's clapping. Thank you, Mayor. So that notice will be going out. If you can join us next Wednesday at 6:30. We have a lot of new folks wanting to come on board to help with the green team. And of course, Bethany will be there and involved with some of her projects. And I'm going to let her tell you about those in just a minute. But before I do that, the last big project that's currently going on, and Maria, thanks to her is one of the volunteers helping us with our social media launch with Brand New. Brand New is the company that will be working with us for the next 6 months. The survey for social media went out. It went out to all residents last week. We're very, very excited that that happened. We have had 8 responses to date. Those surveys were delivered on Friday. And then we have had, I think, 10 staff respond. So that leaves 7 folks yet to turn in from staff. So remember that, council. That means there's a couple of you that haven't turned in yet. So please do your survey and get that in as Maria and Councilmember Chester and the staff work towards launching our new social media program. And we do have, if just for information purposes, when we post something on Constant Contact that goes out to approximately 300 residents, it also posts at the same time on Facebook and on Instagram. So those posts are happening regularly on those 3 platforms, which is good, besides sending out the postcards. We had a postcard failure with notification of the Hispanic Fair, but we've sent out now since then 3 sets of postcards and 2 sets of postcards and a newsletter to all the businesses and Fountain Park, and they all were delivered. So we don't know what happened with the other one. So, but anyway, that's going on. And I think Mayor Maria has her hand up, so I'm not sure if that's about something on social media.
No, actually, because you were talking about the events that are happening. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put my hand down. About the events happening, I was wondering if the event tomorrow about violence awareness is happening? Yes.
Yes.
And I was wondering if somebody, because I mean, that's the reason why you're doing the whole communication, social media, and distribution of information around the town, because I don't know how people are aware that this is happening, and especially talking from Hispanic side of families, that it might tend to be a little bit more on the domestic violence side. Not to say it like that, but unfortunately it is that way. I was wondering if you have anybody that speaks Spanish that might come to that event, and if you don't, I can see if I can go. As long as my husband is here at home, I can maybe attend. If there's any families that come that talk Spanish and you don't have anybody that talks Spanish, I can come. Or if you do, it was just a question.
Chief, did you want to address that? Thank you, Maria.
Maria, thank you for the comment. We, the town of Edmonston, is sponsoring a domestic violence awareness event tomorrow evening from 6 to 8 p.m. We've put out a lot of flyers. We've put the information on our newsletter, and we have, gone door to door in some cases, dropping off information about this event tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. One of our speakers is the pastor of the church that sits at the corner of Edmonston Road and Decatur Street. From what I understand from my contact, he does not speak English, but he's one of our presenters tomorrow evening, and he'll probably be coming to the podium around 7 o'clock or so. And, I'm not sure if he's bringing an interpreter with him, but he wants to share information with respect to domestic violence awareness in the Hispanic community. So if you're not tied up tomorrow evening and you want to come out to Town Hall, it's an outdoor event, you're welcome to come out and help out. And if you want to touch the pastor, his name is Pastor Ramos. And, you may be able to assist us with some interpretation of his message to us tomorrow. So if we can
Sounds
do
good.
that, we'd appreciate it.
Sounds good. As I said, if my husband is here at home one time, I can help. And I'm glad that you have someone from the Hispanic community, or that is gonna talk more to the Hispanic community about this, because as a Hispanic person, I know that not a lot of people reaches out about this problem in my community, because society and other factors for our community. So thank you.
All
That
right.
was my only
Thank you.
question.
Okay.
We appreciate you, Ms. Maria.
So he gonna be in.
Oh, I got you on, I'm off mute. honey. All right, yes, Mr. Barnes.
Just one more thing. I wanted to call on Bethany to just give you a quick update on what she's working on and some of the projects that she'll be working on in the future. Since she's with us tonight, I know that puts her on the spot a little bit, but we go over her work plan every week, so I'm sure she can quickly address that question if she's still on.
Yeah, so right now I'm working on a pesticide policy. I'm gonna be presenting it or talking to the green team whenever they meet. So right now I'm just doing research for the pesticides, and it will be mainly for like preventing the use of like harmful chemicals and just pesticides that are really bad for the environment. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm also working on we're planning the trunk or treat event, I think in October 29th, and the tree planting. So those are some of the things I'm working on at the moment.
Thank you, Bethany.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bethany. Mr. Barnes, is there anything else? Nope. Did you need us to do anything with staff on dumpster day?
We have good coverage for dumpster day. We have a volunteer coming out to help us. Mr. Johnson is supervising, and we have our public works staff on site too. So, but we're happy to have anyone that wants to stop by and say hi to the residents. It's one of our most popular events as we get items delivered to us in lawn tractor wagons and cars. And the key is to make sure that it's town of Edmundston residents doing that. And we're fairly certain they'll start before that 1 o'clock time frame showing up. I think we actually had somebody request if they could drop something off today that would then go in the trash on Saturday.
And I'm becoming more and more concerned with us being a little bit more firm with ensuring that they are Edmundston residents and that we are not taking in contractor items. So if we need to, we can get ID. And if it appears to be contractor items, we should not take it, because it does get expensive for us. I know that our heart is for our residents, but it does get expensive for us because we tend to get more and more dumpsters because we want to do the right thing. And residents, they come before the time and then they move our barriers after the time. So we have to ensure that we have coverage beforehand and have the barriers up there to hope that they don't. And Chief, you might want to be on guard for that too, to ensure that whoever's on duty that night, that maybe they put those, not the cones, but the barriers up at night before they leave.
All right, we can do that.
Yeah. Just so people, maybe they won't move them. Some might, but maybe they won't, to let them know, don't come in and drop your mattresses or whatever it is. Because people do that, and it's not right to us. We're offering a service and we tell you what time to come and what time to stop. If you don't make it there before that time, then it's over. You know, and we have to stick to that, even though we have this wonderful heart, Mr. Barnes. But we have
Mr. Barnes won't be there, so.
Oh, wonderful. So we can stick to it. Betsy, make sure you're there.
I gotta see what time the little ones' ball games are, but
So
right now I'm planning on being there.
Mr. Johnson is going to be the warden, so he can check the IDs, correct, Mr. Johnson?
I mean,
Yeah, that-
I don't want us
also
to
we
be,
go-
I don't want us to be so stringent that we are being I don't want to turn people off or be mean in a way, but I want, if it appears that they are contractors, we shouldn't be taking in a whole bunch of paint. We shouldn't be taking in a whole bunch of drywall. You know, if we can tell.
Or roofing time.
Yeah, yeah, we can tell what a contractor is. And so we shouldn't be taking in all that. We're talking about people cleaning out their doggone basements and things like that. We know what that looks like. So we can't take those kind of things. Right? Does the council?
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's all. I don't want to be mean or anything, but I just want to be smart. All right.
You
Council-
want
We
to
can
be
also go
steward
by-
of
by-
the
I'm sorry?
town resources.
because
Ms. Tuberville, what did you say?
I was saying you're not being mean, you're being a good steward of the town's resources.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, we are. Mr. Johnson?
Now, so we can also go by the people's parking stickers, see who's a resident and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But then
Absolutely. There you go.
a lot of the, yeah, and a lot of the faces are pretty familiar, and a lot of times mainly the same people that really dump them as from last year or the year before.
Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Tuberville, you can go.
Had something relative to our new social media effort and our new ways to try to expand communication with the town. I was just wondering if the chief or our town administrator had any information about if we collect email addresses, for example, from people when they get any kind of permit from us. So whether it be to, rent a space or whether it be like a business license or what have you, because that might be a great way to expand our reach for how we can communicate with people via email and other potential modes.
Chief?
Yes, we can always inquire at the time we renew business licenses and or individuals applying for new licenses to require that they provide information in the form of email, if in fact they have email. And we have the addresses, and so it makes it a lot easier if we intended to send correspondence to them relative to some event we're having in the town. We can certainly do that. That's a valuable resource. And I don't know that we have. Rod, have we taken advantage of that recently, like looking into the file to see if there's an email address for a business? We mail things to them all the time, but not, upcoming events and things of that nature. Rod?
Yeah, that's correct, Chief. We have all of the addresses on labels for every business and every resident in town, so we can send out stuff easily through mail. that way. On the business license, I'm trying to remember on the application if there's, I believe there is an email space. What we haven't done is then gone through those records and captured that email to put into a database, and that's to add to our constant contact. It's a really good idea. I guess that's certainly a great thing for a student or an intern to work on doing too. One of our goals with the social media is to capture phone numbers for all of the residents and businesses so that we can blast out text notifications like a reminder just before that particular event. You know how you get on your phone this little quick text that says today is whatever day, and that event's going on. So we're capturing phone numbers in as often as we can in that way. But that's a great idea, council member.
I was gonna say, when I filled out my business license, it has a spot for email and a contact number, and they ask for several. So that's definitely on the form.
Because I know Hillary, your hand raised. I just want to, so just two things in response real quick. I think, first, I think there could be several other touch points besides just like licenses renewal. I mean, there could be other things that like we interface with, when people come in, maybe even to just inquire about something with the town, whether they get they talk to Avery or they talk to our police administrator. Sorry, I'm having a COVID brain moment on her name. But that just sort of, it becomes like a reflexive thing to ask people for a point of contact. And then to also make sure, though, that if you need an email address for part of a licensure or something like that, that people are opting in that and know that they would then be, that they're agreeing to be put on one of our lists for something, so that we're not like spamming them.
Sorry, on that note, I see that. So sorry, I'm so used to like putting the raise hand just because that's usually what we do at work. On that note, and just I know that maybe this is out of context and that the meeting is turning into something different, but I think on that it's a good idea. But I think we have to take into consideration that, I mean, you might know better the population that we have across the community, but I think we have like a variety of ages, and despite the fact that obviously we are now, because of the pandemic, more used to using emails for a lot of communications and social media and so on, there's still like a high population in the community that might not give the email or might not have the email. And I think that for that, maybe other sources, more banners, more flyers, and so on, are still maybe the method of communication that might still be useful for that. It was just a comment that maybe goes towards that other medium, but I just wanted to put it out there too, especially because more the population of this community. I know mine. I know this Summits Landing, the majority will not give their email whatsoever. So just an idea, yeah.
And just to comment back to Councilmember Turberbales, we do collect emails. That's how we, on any opportunity we get, that's how we collected up 300. So we're continuing to do that. We've even got some at events as we've signed up or had sheet signups as we ask people to provide their email. Sometimes those are a little difficult because you can't read them, but like the food distribution program, we have the emails from all the people that have the food distribution. We also have on our website, and we get maybe like 2 or 3 a month where people send in their emails and request to be on notification from the town for various activities and programs that are going on. And then it was interesting, as Maria said today, the one survey that came back today that opened in the mail, their preferred method of notification of activities and communication from the town was a newsletter. So not email, not phone, just the old fashioned newsletter. So, and of course, I don't know the age or, the culture of that particular person, but that filled that form out. But anyway, it's just interesting. But Maria, thank you for those comments. Really, really appreciate it. And also Councilmember Tuberville.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. McCully? Oh, Ms. Tuberville, are you done? Was that your comment? Thank you very much. Ms. McCully?
Hillary, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just gonna, Sarah sort of said it, and I was just gonna say that there is like a particular regulation around sending electronic newsletters in particular to people without their sort of permission and having them opt in. So I would just say that we should probably talk to the consultants about taking emails from other applications. I think if we added a little checkbox where they can opt in and say, sure, send me a newsletter, I think we can. But there's some relatively in the last couple of years, relatively recent kind of regulation specifically around sending people electronic newsletters without their permission. And so I would just, before we go sort of combing through past applications, we should just be careful and check with the consultants about that.
We have specific wording that addresses that particular issue for when we request emails.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
McCully?
Earlier, before the meeting started, I brought up, maybe we can look into a air filtration for town hall. So I'll just pass that on to Rod. He has nothing else to do. Plus, I know Rod knows the house on my street that's being rebuilt. Bad news. Everything, I mean, they got their permits from us. They got their permits from the county. Unfortunately, their contractor did not know what he was doing. He didn't call in for any inspections. There's going to have to be an engineer that's going to have to come out and check the footings. They're going to have to do a test on that. The roof has got to come off because it's totally illegal. And probably the back half of the house is also going to be taken down and rebuilt. So I just wanted to let the town know that they're going to see a mess there. The new contractor they have on the job, I've known him from the past, just running into him every now and then. A real good guy, and he's going to do his best to kind of get them undercover, wrapped up before winter hits. So if we see a mess here, I can guarantee you it will get cleaned up quick. But there'll probably be a couple days where there will be a big mess, unfortunately.
So in reference to that, thank you, Ms. McCully. In reference to that, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But initially, when I saw the outside, is that even, and I'm going to ask you, Chief, I don't know if you know the answer to that. Is that code? Yeah, I'm sorry.
The owner had to get all of the licenses from Prince George's.
No, I mean the condition of the outside, the way it's the appearance of it.
You're talking about the wrap around the yard?
Wrap around, right. Is that, I mean, I don't know, it's an eyesore, but is that, and we're allowing them to live there. Did we do our due diligence? I don't even know if this should be discussed.
Maybe I can help the chief out a little bit. I mean, I have not had my contractor's license for a few years. But I do know the wraparound, unless it's in our code saying, no, you can't do that. There are a lot of areas that they do that to keep the debris to be
Right.
for another yard. Now, usually after the tear down, usually that wrap goes, it disappears. That's was a protective thing to keep the neighbors' yards clean. I've never seen it or personally have ever kept it up after the tear down. When it starts to be rebuilt, then, you know, I used to take it down, but that
But-
would,
But they were staying in another, they were living there,
yes,
and we knew that.
yes.
And what's our due diligence? As a town. So that's what I'm saying.
I guess we don't know what they have,
And what do we do now?
well, no, we don't know what they have in their shed. Is their shed livable? Do they have running water back there? Do they have a bathroom?
Right, so I'm saying, what was our due diligence for that?
That I can't answer.
Discussion off, not during the meeting, but maybe it is, I don't know.
I'm just saying, if there's a question about it, we can make a call, and in an hour, the county and our folks will just go in and do the inspection. But generally we won't go into a construction site and just look around every day. But if a question comes up, we can go in and do the inspection. That's a part of us allowing them to build or take down or make, repairs. So if we have a question about that? And if we do, we can go in and look.
Why wouldn't we have gone to look? This is just a basic question. Once seeing that, why wouldn't we have gone to look?
Once seeing what? I'm asked, that's the question. When we didn't see anything that would cause us to say, let's go in and look, because we would.
Oh, okay,
All
right.
And so I'm just saying, does someone have any information that will lead us to believe that there was something going on that violates our code of ordinance? Because if that's in fact the case, we'll go in and look.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess. Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Johnson.
Yes. For the council report,
Mm-hmm.
I only have,
Ms. McCauley, were you done? Mr. Johnson? Council report.
yeah, only thing I have is, it's still a in my view, it's still a problem at Kenilworth and Decatur as far as vehicles not stopping, not really acknowledging people in the crosswalks. They got that running gun, get up to the light and hurry up, try to make that right at their light. And the other thing I had is, if you applied that executive order to all the staff and everybody about the shot and everything, how come we still not doing a live council meeting?
I don't think one has anything to do with the other. Are you asking a question about the council meetings? That doesn't have anything
Yeah,
to do.
how come I thought we were supposed to start going back to the regular council meetings back in September.
But Mr. Johnson, the staff has nothing to do with our council meetings, so please separate the two.
Okay, well, still we have events, and if we can do all that, I think we should be able to have, a regular meeting.
So are you asking about the regular meetings?
Yeah. Well, how come we not, doing regular meetings?
Okay, there you go. You want to know about the regular meetings?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can throw my 2 cents in, if we have our regular meetings, we still are gonna have to wear a mask indoors, whether we're vaccinated or not. We're still gonna,
Right.
okay, wearing a mask in the meetings, the muffled sound, keeping everybody 6 feet apart. We can have people that are gonna be attending these meetings, maybe vaccinated, maybe not vaccinated. We can't ask them, are you vaccinated? And they can come in. I think with all the different variants that are going out there, I feel, and the outdoor things we're doing, we're outdoors. We're not in a close confine like the town hall. And that's why I asked Rod about, can we look into getting an air filter for the town hall? But personally, I feel better that we're doing it on Zoom without a mask on, without having to question, people when they come in, whether or not they have been vaccinated, because we can't do that. And half the people don't know how to wear a mask indoors to boot. So I got little ones I have to keep safe, and I'm planning on keeping them safe. So I'm still against having meetings at town hall for now.
And I think we addressed this in our September meeting as well. I think we asked the question in our September meeting. Is that correct, council?
Yes.
Okay.
That was before your executive order.
Not in our September meeting, Mr. Johnson. Okay. Any other comment from the council in reference to that? No.
I mean,
No.
I'll say as a person who, like Betsy and the mayor, have small children at home or in our care a lot. These are people who can't get vaccinated right now. And, for Betsy and I, we've got folks in the under 5 category, and the risk for me is just too high, because you can certainly still, potentially carry virus even if you're vaccinated. And so that's an additional risk factor that I think is problematic for us specifically. All that said, I would totally support getting an air filter at the town hall for our
staff, yeah.
employees and staff.
Yeah, they're there all day, yeah. Okay. All right. So, did you have anything else, Mr. Johnson?
No.
All right, thank you. Ms. Chester, I think you just commented on Ms. Tuberville. Did you have anything else?
No, not really, to be honest.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so that's just about it for this evening. Our meeting is done, unless Miss Avery has anything, or Miss Bethany, anything else. I know Miss Bethany doesn't have anything. Miss Avery?
I don't either. I'm good.
All right. Well, I thank you all for your participation this evening. And with that, I will consider a motion. Oh, you know what, Chief?
Yes, ma'am.
If you could, I think we're going to have our meeting in November, the 1st of November, somewhere around there, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere around there, for our with End Time Harvest and with the insurance company. If you could The county has the 311,
Okay,
right? The county click. If we could do a quick tutorial for the county click, and probably Eric would be able to do that. And because it's beneficial, I use that at my job, 311, whenever I see a abandoned car or anything like that. And I was talking to Mayor James, and she was saying how beneficial it is for her as well. So, and I said, you know what, I didn't even think about that, with our community, because we call the town, our residents call the town hall all the time. I know even for light poles, they're not thinking about just looking at the light pole number and calling Pepco. They always call the town hall to call Pepco. So sometimes, especially in times of an emergency, don't wait for town hall to open. They can actually do the county click, the 311, take that picture, track it, and be on top of things. Our residents are a different breed now where they can do those things. So maybe Eric can connect with that. I don't know if he's still taking that drive.
his last day is tomorrow. He'll be done at 12 noon.
Okay.
Yes, so we can.
All right. All right. Or somebody else that's computer savvy. I don't know.
We'll take care of that.
Okay, that'll be good to kind of teach our residents how to do that, especially if we're getting into that snow. We might have a pipe that breaks or something like that. They can do that county click, and they can also let us know too, but
Yes, ma'am.
good
Okay.
stuff. All right.
Chief, do you need
Yes,
any,
ma'am.
you need any help for tomorrow night? During the day?
No, we just have to set up, we have a written plan in place where everyone understands what his or her duty is. So we're fine. We've been working on things over the last month or so. And so we should be okay. Miss Nelson, the administrative person, has been having some problems, having some problems with her neck and back this entire week. And she's been out a day and a half. So we're just hoping she comes in tomorrow and she's feeling well. If not, we'll have to backfill what we had her doing in the plan. But other than that, we're okay. If I need you to help me out, I would certainly reach out. I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay,
I'll be here all day.
thank you.
All righty.
Righty. Right now, I'll accept the motion to adjourn our wonderful meeting. And I thank you all again.
I'll make the motion.
There's a
I'll
second.
second.
Thank you. Motion made by Ms. McCauley, seconded by Mr. Johnson. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Wave good night, everybody.
Good night.
Watch out for those
Good night.
acorns.
Acorns.
Hey, cool.
I'm ready for the bonfire, Miss Chester.
Yes, I'll invite you.
All right.